Hello guys, meet again with Qinima Sports. The big world boxing fight that has been waited for so long certainly has generated tremendous enthusiasm. These are the 10 most controversial decisions in the history of world boxing, but before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, so you don't miss any updates from Qinima. Joe Louis vs. Jersey Joe Walcott. This was about ahead of the retirement of Joe Louis, who was still a good fighter for anyone, except for Jersey Joe Walcott. At the legendary Madison Square Garden, Joe Louis defended his 24th title against the faster at that time, Joe Walcott. The heavyweight ruler, who had been knocked down twice, couldn't catch Walcott's constant movement from side to side, up and down, in and out. Everyone, including Joe Louis, thought that the fight was won by Joe Walcott, so Joe Louis decided to leave the ring even before the official verdict was read. But surprisingly, Joe Louis is still the champion with the split decision, which is still the most controversial decision to date. Joe Louis, who felt embarrassed, finally underwent a rematch duel in the next fight. That's when Joe Louis made his last special performance. Joe Louis successfully defended his crown for the 25th time in his career. Trinidad vs. Oscar de la Hoya.
As well, all happened.
Are undisputed.
1999 was the millennium when these two welterweight boxers met. Tito Trinidad vs. Oscar de la Hoya. In the fight, de la Hoya looked to be in control early with a counterattack and neutralized Trinidad's attack. In 9 rounds, de la Hoya won 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards. But the margin according to the jury was not as wide as he thought, when de la Hoya lowered his output in the last 4 rounds. Trinidad was crowned the winner with scores 115-114, 115-113, and 114-114. Trinidad were aggressive, but ineffective against de la Hoya's solid defensive work. The outcome of the decision became controversial when most of the visitors declared Oscar de la Hoya deserving to be the winner, but most of the others supported Felix Trinidad.
Beginning of that round, Oscar's way out in front of this fight. You sense how important all these rounds are.
Well, with this story at the end, it's going to be young referees and coordinating. The crowd gets so excited when Oscar does anything with it. He's coming on just as his game. That's over the head. And again!
You're not in that offensive third in this fight.
Yeah.
That's not like you're trying to fight him.
Decision de Puerto Rico. And a unified.
Here we go. The fight you've all been waiting for. This is 59th World.
Pernell Whitaker vs. Julio Cesar Chavez. The fight between Whitaker vs. Cesar Chavez was referred to as the fight which took place on September 10, 1993, for the WBC welterweight title. The outcome of the fight was a draw and the most contentious decision in boxing history. Whitaker played well in controlling the fight, while Chavez struggled to land consistent punches. Whitaker managed to land 311 hits, while Chavez 220 hits. Almost every scorecard from the press had Whitaker as the winner, but the results of the judges' scorecards declared a draw. Outrage immediately exploded from various media, among which the most prominent was Sports Illustrated, which featured Whitaker on the front cover with the title robbed.
He's doing the same thing, and he's actually taking it to Chavez. Left hand counter punch. He's had his way.
Chavez's face.
We've just been... Whitaker's left. It could be history in the making. Say the middle rounds on to the very end. Well, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, the decision is a majority decision draw.
Timothy Bradley vs. Manny Pacquiao.
Let's do this.
This was one of the Manny Pacquiao fights that had controversial results apart from the fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Manny Pacquiao meets Timothy Bradley on June 9, 2012, at the MGM Garden Grand Arena, Nevada. In the fight for the WBO welterweight title, Timothy Bradley won the battle via a highly controversial split decision, although many observers thought Pacquiao was dominant in almost 12 rounds played. However, the three judges who were considered to have made controversial decisions emphasized that the decisions they took were objective and based on their observations in the ring, not because of pressure from several parties, as is widely accused.
Right, Mr. Powell. Here we see a situation which I think was a fourth round. The caption here is Manny Pacquiao, one of the dominant weapons in the course of the past 8 or 10 years. Manny Pacquiao over and over and over again. That was the determinant.
And new WBO welterweight champion of the world.
Around his neck. Now let's see if Angelo won this one.
Sugar Ray Leonard vs. Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
And here we go. One-foot rank so far. These guys. There's the shots. I think.
The Super Fight is the title of the fight between Sugar Ray Leonard vs. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, which took place on April 6, 1987, for the WBC and the Ring Middleweight Championships. Previously, in the period 1982 to 1987, Sugar Ray Leonard had retired several times and re-entered the ring. Until 1986, Leonard watched the bout between the slowed-down Marvin Hagler vs. John Mugabe. Leonard then decides to jump back in and challenge Marvin Hagler. Everyone thought Hagler would win, especially since Leonard had long since retired. But what not everyone knows, Leonard had 4 private warm-up fights with top 20 type opponents, and Leonard won 4 of those fights, 2 of them via knockout. In the fight, the southpaw-style Hagler started with an orthodox and lost in the early rounds. The next round, Leonard took advantage of the large size of the ring to avoid Hagler and hunt for points at the end of the round. In the end, Leonard won the battle via split decision by 113 to 115, 115-113, and 118-110.
At the end of the round, title. But that's not in the corner at the end of this fight, but on his feet.
And new
Well guys, those are 10 world boxing fights whose decisions have been controversial. Don't forget to leave your comments below, like and share the video. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.